how's it going, all you most amazing top 10 people? I'm your host, Landon Dallansing, and welcome back to a brand new video. If you guys like our videos on this channel, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get this video to the homepage of YouTube. And before I get started, I want to know, what is something that you wish you can change in your life? Let me know what you would change in the comment section below. A lot of people in this world commit violence and horrific crimes. Sometimes these crimes are committed by teenagers who will most likely have to pay for their mistake by spending their lives behind bars, like the rest of their lives. So let's take a look at the top 10 teenagers who are prison lifers. Starting us off, in at number 10 is John Pace. One night while he was walking home drunk, he decided to mug someone walking in his direction. He gave this innocent man several blows to the head before a cop car pulled up. That innocent man died 10 days later, and this is on February 1989. John Pace pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, thinking that he would be out of prison in about 15 years. Well, he was sadly mistaken, because the sentencing judge handed down one of the harshest punishments that they can hand down. John Pace was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The USA is the only country in the world that sentences children to life without parole. Next up on this brutal list, number 9, we have Petri Kurti. He is one of the UK's youngest murderers after he was jailed for killing a 47-year-old woman when he was just 13 years old. This is absolutely insane. He stomped on her head so hard that he left a shoe print on her face, and then she later died because she just bled out from the inside of her head. Her brain was just bleeding. This is definitely a very vicious and violent crime, and I don't think he will be released anytime soon. Cynthia Alvarez makes an appearance in at number 8. She was only 15 years old at the time when she was convicted of murdering her parents with her boyfriend. I mean, is this real life right now? Come on. She expressed little remorse for the brutal and vicious murders of her parents, so that's why the judge wanted to sentence her to life imprisonment. However, she was lucky and she'd be eligible for parole in 51 years, but because she will be growing up in the prison system, I have no doubt that she'll commit another crime sooner or later, and hopefully she just gets forgotten about. Moving into number 7 is John Silva. He was 15 years old when he was convicted of first-degree murder for wrapping his friend with wires so tightly that he suffocated. He received the mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole. If he was an adult, he could have faced the death penalty. John Silva confessed to kidnapping his friend, taking him to the woods, and then suffocating him, but he never explained why he did it. Youngest person in the world to face life without parole makes its way into number 6. He was almost a teenager when he shot and killed his father's pregnant fiance. Jordan Brown was charged with 2 counts of homicide, and the judge said that he would want to try him as an adult. The lawyer said that it violated his rights to be presumed innocent, and it violated his rights to avoid self-incrimination. So he was later tried as a juvenile, but it will be a very long time until he's released. And now at number 5, we have 2 girls who wanted to join a Slender Man cult. 2 teenage girls admitted to stabbing a 12-year-old girl 19 times with a knife because they wanted to please a fictional online character. They told detectives that they had been planning to kill their classmates for months because they wanted to prove their loyalty with the murder. If they are convicted as adults, they could face up to 65 years in prison. A 13-year-old boy and his friend who committed a nasty crime makes their way into number 4. The 2 boys are being convicted of murder for dangling and dropping a 5-year-old from a 14-story building after the little boy refused to steal candy for them. Actually, these 2 boys were ages 10 and 11 years old when they committed this murder, but they are only being charged now. The judge said that they will forfeit the right to live in society as a free person when you commit such acts. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. This is a pretty violent murder committed at such a damn young age. Now at number 3 is Christian Fernandez. He was 13 years old at the time when he was charged with first-degree murder for beating to death his 2.5-year-old brother and for sexually abusing his 5-year-old half-brother. This is insane. He is being charged as an adult, and if he is being convicted, he will be facing a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Philip Chimps comes in at number 2. He was only 14 years old when he was sentenced to life in prison after he raped and killed his math teacher. He followed her into the bathroom and murdered her using a box cutter and rolled her body out of the school using a recycling bin. He buried her in the woods and returned back to school covered in blood. Due to the violent nature of his crime, it's no doubt that he's going to be spending the rest of his life in the prison system. Finally, at number 1, we have Lionel Tate. He is the youngest American to ever be sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Because back in 2001, he was 13 years old when he was convicted of first-degree murder after he battered to death a 6-year-old. The poor little girl had a fractured skull, fractured ribs, and swollen brain. Yeah, it's no wonder why the judge decided to put him in prison for life. Well, there you guys have it. That was a pretty brutal list. Well, thanks for watching if you guys got to the end of this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.